This is History and Government, Paper 1, which was done in April 2021, which was meant for 2020, but because of COVID, it was postponed up to April 2021. So you are supposed to take 2.5 hours. So this is the first page, that is from Kenya National Examination Council. The first page you are required to write your name, index number, your signature, and the date. For example, I can say this is Michael Daniel, and this is index number. Index number normally have the school code. For example, you can take 250065. That's the school code, normally displayed on the board. And then you have your index, for example, the 041. So that's your index, which you are given in your school. Then you sign here. And the dates. The date, maybe it was done in 4th, just an example, 4th of April. 2021. So that is the information required in this page, and it is important because the examiner will be able to use this information to grade you. If you don't give this information, you may be your work may get lost. The name you can write in capital letters, no problem. Still on the same page, you are given instructions. And some of the instructions are the ones that we have just mentioned. So you should write your name and index number in the spaces provided. I've already shown you that. Sign and write the date of the examination in the spaces provided. We have shown you how you do that. So you are told this paper consists of 3 sections, A, B, and C. Answer all questions in A. 3 questions from B and 2 questions from C. So that is very important, so that you don't answer more question in a section than instructed. This is because it will take you time, and this may not give you an opportunity to do perfect work in the given questions within the time given of 2.5 hours. Answer must be written on the spaces provided after question 24. So this paper consists of 20 printed pages. So you are given this instruction so that you can check before you start doing the exam. The candidate should check the question paper to ascertain that all pages are printed and indicated and that no questions are missing. Very important, because you know human is to error. You may find there was an error in printing, and you start doing the question, then only to realize later they are missing questions. Candidates should answer the questions in English. That's also very important. You don't answer in Kiswahili or in your mother tongue, because the person who will be marking, the examiner will not mark that kind of work. The other section still on the same page, this is meant for examiners' use, so that when the examiners are doing their work, they can record. For example, here you can score like 18. Here you score like 8. So on, then the total here is recorded. So you are not supposed to interfere with this page. So as we revise, we are going to revise section A, then B and C. I'll be showing you the question and then provide you with the answer required, or that they are supposed to do that. From there, you can pause the video if you want to try the question. Then you can check the answers given, so that it is good for practice. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is question number 1. You are told 2 Eastern Kushite communities who migrated into Kenya during the pre-colonial rule, and you are given 2 marks. So the answer that I'm going to provide has more than 2 points. So if you mention any of the two, then you'll be able to get the question right. This question is from Form 1, Topic 4, the peoples of Kenya up to the 19th century. So the two Eastern Cushitic communities that migrated into Kenya during the pre-colonial period were Redire, Bulji, Borana, Somali, Gabra, Gara, or sometimes they are called Oromo. So if you just, you can see 2 times 1. So if you pick, for example, Redire and Bulji, you get 2 points. If you pick Somalia and Borana, you still get full mark. So that full mark is total marks are 2 if you mention any of these 2. So those are the answers for this question. Question number 2. 2 forms of oral traditions used as a source of information in history and government. Oral means using your mouth. So how was information passed orally? And that was the source of information. So let's see what was expected. So the two forms of oral traditions used as a source of information in history and government. This is from Form 1, Topic 1, Introduction to History and Government. So you are to be awarded 2 marks. So here we have songs, riddles, proverbs, folk tales and stories, tongue twisters, myths, legend, and poem. So in the African setup, those are the days they didn't have radio, they didn't have TV, so they use this oral traditions method to pass information from one place to the other, or from one person to the other in the community. So if you pick any tool, for example, if you pick songs, poems, that's okay. Riddles, songs, that's okay. Proverbs, folktales, any two, you will be able to get the 2 marks. So you are given all this so that if you only remember 2 out of the 8, you still be able to get a mark for the full mark, that is 2 marks for this question. Question number 3. One reason for coming of Arabs to Kenya coast before 1500 AD. So what was the reason? And here, or what were the reason? Here you are awarded, this question is awarded 2 marks. So let's see what happens. One reason for the coming of Arabs to the Kenya coast before 15 AD. This is from Form 1, Topic 6. Contacts between East African coast and the outside world. So that's where the question is based from. So the reason why they came for trade, that is 1. They were looking for settlement, that is 2. They were escaping religious persecutions, conflicts, stroke civil wars. So if you mention persecution, conflict, or civil war, you still get. They came for advance or exploration. They came to spread Islam. So you see here you are supposed to answer, give any of this. So this is very simple, because at least if you remember one of this, we have 5. You'll be able to get the 1 mark. Let's go to question number 4. 2 communities obtained from the Kenya coast during the long distance trade. You get 2 marks. So which are these 2 communities? Let's find out. 2 communities obtained from Kenyan coast during the long distance trade. This topic is from contact between East African coast and the outside world. So the commodities were like clothes or silk, beads, ironware or tools, utensils, grass, Porcelain bowls, carrier shells, spices, weapons. If you mention guns, say okay, swords, daggers. So because this question is awarded 2 marks, you can ignore this. So you get a mark if 2 marks if you mention any 2. For example, if you say crows and beads, that's okay. If you say beads and spices, still be able to get. So you are there are so many. You only need to remember any 2 of these. Let's go to question number 5. The other monument built by Portuguese apart from Fort Jesus. So which is this monument? Let's find out. So the other monument built by the Portuguese apart from Fort Jesus. This is from topic 6, contact between East African coast and the outside world. So the other monument is Vasco da Gama Pillar, which is in Marindi. But if just say Vasco da Gama Pillar, that's okay. You don't need to say where it is. But it is good to know where it is. You get 1 mark. Let's go to question number 6. Question number 6. 2 national days celebrated in Kenya. You get 2 marks. So if you name 2, there are quite several, you'll be able to get 2 marks. So which are these 2 national days? 2 national days celebrated in Kenya. This is from 2 topic 7, constitution and constitution making. So we have Madaraka, we have Mashujaa, and we have Jamhuri. So any 2, you get 1 mark for each, and that's how you answer that question. Let's go to question number 7. The main reason for formulation of Inter-Party Parliamentary Group, that is IPPG, popularly known as IPPG, in 1997. Why was this formulation or the start of IPPG? So this, we see what was the reason. The main reason for formulation of the Inter-Party Parliamentary Group, IPPG, in 1997. This is from Form 2 Topic 7, Constitutions and Constitution Making. So the reason was to ensure a level playing ground for all political parties or promote free and fair elections. So that was the main reason. As it was seen that Kanu was overpowering the other parties. So the other opposition parties were weak. We go to question number 8. Question number 8, we are told 2 ways through which African communities in Kenya responded to the British colonization. The 2 ways how they responded. Let's see how they responded. Okay, 2 ways through which African communities in Kenya responded to the British colonization. This is from Form 3 Topic 2, Establishment of Colonial Rule in Kenya. The 2 ways is that they resisted, like the formation of Mau Mau. They collaborated. There are those that collaborated, popularly known as guards. Then they offered mixed reaction. This means they collaborated as well as resisting. So those 3. So if you mention any 2, you will be able to get 2 marks, 1 mark for each, and that's how you answer question number 8. Let's go to question number 9. One arm of national government of Kenya. How many arms of government do we have? We have 3. Judiciary, we have executive, and we have judiciary, executive, and parliamentary. So, or legislature. So one arm of the national government of Kenya. Form 3 Topic 8, Formation, Structure, and Functions of the Government. So we have the legislature, that is the parliamentarians. They make rules. The executive, that is the president and the national government. Then we have the judiciary, the courts and so on. So you mention one of these, you'll be able to get 1 mark. And that is how you are supposed to answer question number 9. Question number 10. 2 social functions of Orkoyot among the Nandi during the pre-colonial period. Which are these social functions? 2 social functions of the Orkoyot among the Nandi during the colonial rule, colonial period. This is from Form 1, Topic 5, Socio-Economic and Political Organization of Kenya Communities in the 19th Century. So which are these social functions? Foretelling the future. They were able to tell what will happen in future. Presiding over the religious functions, or was a religious leader. So Orkoyot was a religious leader. Arbitrating dispute, solving disputes among the members of the Nandis community. Blessing warriors when they are going for war. Rainmaker, they could do a ceremony when for the rain to come. Medicine men, they could treat people using the herbal medicine, which they were gathering from the forest. So that's how you answer question number 10. We go to question number 11. 2 ways in which the rule of law is maintained in Kenya. Which are these 2 ways? 2 ways in which the rule of law is maintained in Kenya. This is from Form 3, Topic 8, Formation, Structure and Functions of the Government of Kenya. So we have several, 5 of them. So the first one, all citizens / people are treated equal before the law. It doesn't matter whether you are rich or poor, you are supposed to be treated equal in a court of law. Number 2, an accused person is assumed or treated as innocent until proved guilty, taking suspect to court of law for trial. So when the police arrest a person, they are not supposed to assume that the person is guilty. They are supposed to take the person to court, even if they have found the person in the act or doing the wrong thing or breaking the law. Roman number 3, an accused person is given a fair hearing, a chance to defend themselves, right of appeal. So when you are taken to court of law, you are given a fair hearing. So the magistrate or the judge hears your side before and make judgment depending on what you have, what he has seen or what he has observed from the evidence given. Number 4, by ensuring independence of judiciary. Independence means the judiciary should not be directed what to do. For example, if one is accused, the executive should not direct the judiciary in determining their case. Number 5, by guaranteeing legal representation of the accused. One is provided with a judge, especially the murder accused. They are provided by a judge, by a lawyer or advocate to be assisted in their case. So that's how you answer question number 11. Let's go to question number 12. The author of the sessional paper number 10 of 1965. So who was the author? The author of the sessional paper number 10 of 1965. This is from Form 4 Topic 4, National Philosophies in Kenya. The person who wrote or authored is Thomas Joseph Boyer, popularly known as Tom Boyer, who was assassinated. So that's how you answer question number 12. You get 1 mark. Question number 13. The Education Commission, which recommended the establishment of 844 system of education. You get 1 mark. Which is this commission? The Education Commission, which recommended establishment of 844 system of education. This is from Form 4 Topic 5, Socio-Economic and Political Development and Challenges in Kenya since Independence. So this commission, the Presidential Working Party on Second University in Kenya, the Mackay Commission. So that was the name of the commission which recommended the establishment of 844. So that's how you answer question number 13. Question number 14. 2 types of government expenditure in Kenya. Which are these 2 expenditures? 2 types of expenditure in Kenya, government expenditure in Kenya. This is from Form 4 Topic 8, Public Revenue and Expenditure in Kenya. So we have capital expenditure and recurrent expenditure. So you get 1 mark for each. That totaling to, this one is any 2 times 1. So you get 1 mark for each. Question number 15. The Chief Executive of a county government in Kenya. So the 2010 Constitution introduced the county government. So who is the county boss? The Chief Executive of county boss in Kenya. Form 4 Topic 7, Devolved Government. This is the county governor. That is, he's the head of the county government. And that's how you answer that. This one doesn't have options. You must mention county governor to get 1 mark. Question number 16. The main grievance of the Ukamba Member Association. This was a party in the Kamba people. What was their grievance? The main grievance of the Ukamba Member Association, Form 3 Topic 5, Political Development and Structure for Independence, Kenya, 1919 to 1963. The grievance was the destocking policy. That is, they were being forced to reduce their livestock. That is what we meant by the destocking policy. We go to question number 17. The other pillars of Nyayoism beside peace and love. And you get 1 mark. So what is this pillar? The other pillar of Nyayoism beside peace and love, from 4 Topic 4, National Philosophies in Kenya. That the pillar was unity, peace, love, and unity. That was the slogan of the Nyayoism. So that brings us to the end of section A. So in section A, you are supposed to answer all the questions, and I hope you have followed how you are supposed to answer this question. So from here, I will move to section B. This is section B. that is 2020 Kcse History Paper 1. Consists of 45 marks. So we go through it and we see the answers that were expected. So this is question number 18, and we are told, name 5 communities among the plain Nilotes who settled in Kenya during the colonial period. That is when the colonizers were in Kenya. You name 5 communities among the plain Nilotes. So let's see what is expected. So this question is from Form 1, Topic 4, the peoples of Kenya up to the 19th century. So we are told to name 5 communities among the plain Nilotes who settled in Kenya during the colonial period. So we start with the Maasai. We go to Samburu. In another name we call them Bukaneji. We have another tribe called the Jeps or Ichamas. We have the Iteso and we have the Turkana. So for each that you name, you are supposed to be or to get 1 mark, so totaling to 5 marks. So that's the answers for this question. Part B of the question, describe the political organization of the Agikuyu during the pre-colonial period. That is political organization of the Agikuyu. And we have, this topic is from Form 1, Topic 5, Socio-Economic and Political Organizations of Kenyan Communities in the 19th Century. So Roman number 1, these are the answers that were expected. The family was a basic unit of the society headed by a man or the father. Roman number 2. So these are, we call them the way they used to handle the Agikuyu community, the way they used to handle issues. Roman number 2, they had a decentralized form of government headed by a council of elders. Number 3, they had clans which were formed by several related families. Number 4, each clan was ruled by a council of elders known as Kiama, headed by Muramati. Number 5, they had a higher council of elders who acted as a court of appeal, administered justice in the community, settled dispute. For example, if someone has stolen from another person, maybe the land dispute and things like those. Things related to marriages, such things. They had an age set system which comprised of boys who had undergone circumcision at the same time. They had, number 7, they had warriors who defended the community against attackers. So these are 7. Because you are told to, this question is 5 marks, so you get 10 marks. That is 2 marks for you name. You can give 5 here. You get 2 marks for each, totaling to 10 marks. So that's how those are the answers that were expected, or something close to that. Not necessarily the same wording, but should be referred to. The meaning should be the same. Next question, number 19, is state 5 reasons for coming of the Portuguese to the Kenyan coast. So the Portuguese came to Kenya when they were on their way exploring. They were heading to the East Indies to get spices. So they stopped in Kenya as a stopover, and they built the Fort Jesus and other structures. So this question is from Topic 6, contacts between East African coast and the outside world. So we are told to state 5 reasons for the coming of the Portuguese to the Kenyan coast. Roman number 1, to trade with the coastal towns, creating a trading empire. So that's 1. To find guide for the sea route to India. West Indies, to be specific, to look for the legendary Prester John. Number 4, to explore the vast Kenyan coast, satisfy their spirit of adventure. Number 5, to spread Christianity, counter the influence of Islam, revenge against the Arabs. Number 6, Kenya coast was strategic for supplying or prevent the control of the coast by the tax Arab to control the East African coast. So that's another reason. Number 7, presence of natural harbors. So that's another reason why they came to Kenyan coast. Next is part B of question number 19. Explain 5 challenges faced by the early Christian missionaries in their work in Kenya. And that question is here you'll be awarded 10 marks. So this is from topic 6, contacts between East Africa coast and the outside world. One of the challenges they face is that they met with very many diseases. So tropical diseases such as malaria claimed the lives of many missionaries, slowed down their work. Number 2, Islam posed a stiff competition to Christianity at the coast since Islam was already established in the region. So that is also another challenge. The Islam, the Arab had come earlier and they had established their religion, that is Islam. Number 3, missionaries faced resistance, hostility from Africans because Christian teaching condemned the African tradition, practices such as polygamy, female circumcision. So that's another challenge. The Africans resisted. Number 4, poor transport and communication network, lack of roads hindered movement in the interior. So there was a problem in transport. There were no roads, there are no vehicles, so they used to walk. So that was also another challenge. So that's how the answers expected for this question. We go to the next question. Explain 5 challenges. I think we have answered that. Number 20. Highlight 5 reasons why settler farming was encountered in Kenya during the colonial period. So this is from Form 3 topic known as Social and Economic Development in Kenya during the colonial period. So 5 reasons why settler farming was encouraged in Kenya. One of them is to strengthen the colonial economy, make Kenya a white man's country. So they wanted to colonize and fully make Kenya their extended kind of a country. Number 2, to finance administrative costs of the colony. So when the colonizers, the Europeans came, they set up that administration, and they needed finances or to be able to run the administration part of their government. Number 3, to recover the cost of construction of the Uganda railway. So they constructed the railway, and therefore they needed things to transport with the railway back to Europe and other parts of the world. Number 4, to utilize the fertile idle land. Africans didn't have the technical know-how in large-scale farming. So the Africans were a little bit behind. They didn't have some crops like coffee and tea. They just used to farm food for consumption. Number 5, to promote self-sufficiency in food production. So to be able to feed them and even the Africans. Number 6, to produce raw materials for industries. That's okay. Number 7, The white highlands had suitable climate, yes, like Mount Kenya highlands. It was suitable for large-scale farming and good climate as long as good soil. Number 8, to check the influence of Asians community in Kenya. There were Asians that settled in Kenya when they completed building the railway. Number 9, to maintain the Uganda railway repair. So those are the reasons why settler farming was encouraged in Kenya during the colonial period. We go to the next part, B. Discuss 5 consequences of colonial land policies in Kenya. Discuss 5 consequences of colonial land policies in Kenya. So this is from Form 3, Topic 4, Social and Economic Development in Kenya during the colonial period. So the 5 consequences of colonial land policy in Kenya. Number 1, large tracts of land were declared white highlands, leading to loss of land by Africans. So the whites settled in the best part of the land and pushed the Africans away. Number 2, Africans were restricted to reserve which were characterized by overcrowding, overstocking, social degradation. So Africans were pushed to a smaller area, and therefore there was a problem of overcrowding. They were put together in places, in villages, and given some part of the land to cultivate, just enough for them to plant what to feed. So that's another consequence. Africans became squatters on their own land, leading to misery and poverty. So, as like I have mentioned, Africans were pushed in villages, and therefore there was they became squatters in their land, and there was poverty because they were being forced even to work for free in the European lands. Number 4, it led to introduction of a new system of land tenure, individual ownership. So later on, the land was subdivided, and each was given a small portion. Number 5, classes within the African societies emerged as few Africans to seek employment in the settlers' farm in order to raise money to pay tax. So that's also a consequence of colonial land policies in Kenya. They were forced to, because the administration, the white administration introduced what we call tax, and therefore they needed to work for them to be able to pay the tax. Part B, discuss 5 consequences of land policies in Kenya. So this is a continuation of the last part. So it led to introduction of the Kipande system, which restricted the movement of the Africans. Kipande, we can compare it like it was an identification document, like what we have the ID now, but this Kipande was to restrict or to limit where the Africans should go, so that the white administration can be able to control them. Number 7, it led to the development of African nationalism to agitate the pride of Africans. So Africans, when the Africans were pushed so much, they started what we call African nationalism, and this were movement to fight for their freedom, or seeking for their freedom. Number 8, it led to forced labor, where African chiefs were required to recruit workers for the European farms, effect of Northern Circular. So this led to forced labor. The Africans were being forced to work in the white man's land, and sometimes even without pay. Sometimes they were paid peanuts just for them to survive. Roman number 9, it led to introduction of poll tax, which forced the Africans to seek wage employment in the settlers' farm in order to raise to raise money to pay tax. So there you can give 5. Each is awarded 2 marks. So 5 multiplied by 2, you'll be able to get 10 marks. So that's those are the answers expected for this question. We have a continuation of that. This is number 12. We have inadequate facilities, equipment had made it difficult to access quality services. So inadequate facilities or equipment. Number 13, inadequate funding by the government, which has resulted to provision of poor health services. The government had not established completely, and therefore they were not able to give, there was poor health services. The other one is retrogressive cultural or religious practices have frustrated efforts to provide health care. In the first place, the Africans did not embrace the white man's medicine since they were using the traditional medicine. So this is cultural and also the religious practices. The Africans had their own way of, or kind of their spiritual way of doing things, but the white man was forcing the Africans to desert those practices and become Christians. 15. Increased environment pollution has led to higher incidence of ailment. So as a country grew, there was increase in environmental pollution. For example, the white man introduced the vehicles, the tractors for working in the farm and some industry, so that led to environmental pollution. So that's how you answer that. Question number 21. Part A. State 5 factors that led to the reintroduction of multi-party democracy in Kenya. So multi-party democracy or multi-party democracy in Kenya, when Kenya was gained independence, we had a multi-party system, but the multi-party system was banned and KANU became the only party in the country. So due to various what we can say various ideology, the people fought for the introduction of a multi-party democracy. So this is from topic 5, socio-economic and political development and challenges in Kenya since independence. So one of the reasons, the factors, is the alleged rigging of the 1988 general elections, because there was only one party. It used to, that is the KANU. It controlled everything, and therefore there was no democracy. Rigging and the awarding the royalties to the party. Roman number 2, failure by KANU to accommodate divergent views, KANU policies. So if you had a different view that is not the only party KANU could not accommodate, then there was a problem. Sometimes you are told that you have been expelled from the party, and therefore you have no other vehicle or other way of joining, for example, the elections. Number 3, political reforms in the Soviet Union. So there were other places like Soviet Union where people are fighting for democracy, to have more than one party. So that also led to the introduction of multi-party. That is international, can say international interferences. Number 4, pressure by Western countries to adopt multi-party democracy. So there was pressure like in developed countries like America, Britain, that they pressurized the current the said system by then, that is the Kano regime, to introduce a multi-party democracy so that people can have and be able to air or to give different views within their party, respective parties. Number 5, introduction of multi-party in other African countries like Zambia and Togo. So that also contributed to their introduction. So other countries, they were also experiencing the same, and therefore that is that also led to the introduction of multi-party. Then we have the number 6, pressure from multi-party activists, political prisoners, and the clergy. So there are those multi-party activists who fought to force the government, the Kano government, to introduce a multi-party. Some people were jailed, others were even killed, so like that. Number 7, recommendation of Saitoti Review Committee report of 1990. Number 8, repeal of Section 2A of the Constitution. So this is the one that was changed to allow for the introduction of multi-party. Number 9, rampant corruption in all sectors of government. So those are the answers that are expected in this question. Part B, explain 5 challenges facing the provision of health services in Kenya. So this is from Socio-Economic and Political Development and Challenges in Kenya since independence, which is a Form 4 topic. And we have a high cost of medical services which limit access by majority of the populace or population who cannot afford. Even up to now, the provision of health is still a challenge because the facilities that are there are not enough for the population. Roman number 2, high population which puts strain on the limited available health facilities equipment. The population is more than the available health facilities. Like maybe we have a hospital serving so many people, so that is a challenge. Roman number 3, high rate of HIV, stroke, AIDS, other diseases which put a huge burden of health budget. So it is very expensive to treat some of these diseases. In fact, some of them like HIV, stroke, AIDS will depend on donors because they require a lot of the medicine are expensive. Number 4, corruption in health sector, thereby hindering effective service delivery, affecting the procurement procedure, provision of drugs or equipment. So there is corruption in Kenya, and that is a main challenge. So some people would just corrupt the health sector, steal medicine, provide when given contract to provide the services or medicine, they just don't supply anything, they steal. So that is also a challenge. Kenya faces acute brain drains as many medical practitioners seek greener pastures outside the country. So there are those doctors who are trained here in Kenya, but because they get better pay and better life in developed countries, they move to those countries. So we end up having deficiency of the personnel, qualified personnel. We have number 6, ineffective national health insurance, which make it difficult for many people to access quality health. So there is also corruption in this. This is the National Health Insurance Fund. People steal money from that, and therefore it is not able to sustain health services to the people. Number 7, inadequate health practitioners, personnel which comprise the quality of, we do not have enough personnel in hospital. And sometimes they go on strike, Number 8, high rate of road accident injuries has sustained the available health facilities. So the high rate of accident, they strain our health facility. Number 9, high poverty levels among the people renders them vulnerable to diseases and malnutrition. So the poverty, people are not able to feed the right diet, so they are poor. They can't afford to live in a standard that would be help them to live a better life. So that also is a challenge. The other one is eruption of new deadly diseases like coronavirus and that do not have cure has made more available resources to be channeled to it, thereby ignoring other diseases which will trouble citizenry. So such diseases like corona, which has not by now we have a vaccine, but still we don't have a cure. So it strained the country resources because all the resources were directed, or a higher percentage of the resources, health resources, were directed towards that particular disease. Number 11, frequent industrial arrest by health workers has resulted into death, suffering of many patients. So when health workers go on strike, the patients are the ones that suffer, and therefore that is also a challenge, since they occasionally go for industrial strike, or unless or what we call strike, agitating for increase of salary. Then we have number 12, inadequate facilities, equipment that made it difficult to access quality services. So inadequate facilities. So if you don't have enough, like the right machines, then the quality we cannot be able to access quality service. Number 13, inadequate funding by the government, which has resulted into provision of poor services. So the budget, the country budget is strained, and therefore they don't have, the government does not fund the health sector with enough finances to be able to cover better health care or provision of health services. Number 14, retrogressive cultural or religious practices have frustrated effort to provide the health care. There are cultural retrogressive. For example, there are some who don't go to hospital because of their religious beliefs. They don't believe in modern medicine. I don't know. That's a retrogressive cultural and religious practices that have made some people to suffer or not to get good health care. Number 15, increased environment population has led to higher incident of airing. We have dump sites that are producing harmful gases, and therefore this has led to increase in ailment. For example, chest diseases and so forth. We have other kind of environment, so that leads to other types of diseases. So that is those are the answers that are expected. There are 15, but you only need 5. Each is awarded 2 marks. So if you mention 5 among these 10, then you are good. You will be able to score 10 marks. We have number 22. This is section C, which is 30 marks. 22, Roman number, part A, identify 3 peaceful methods of conflict resolution. Conflict is when we have individuals quarreling, countries quarreling, government departments like like that. So we can say mediation, like what happened in Sudan, Southern Sudan, before they were given the independence. So there was mediation. Negotiation and diplomacy. Sometimes you send people to go and negotiate for peace. For example, what was happening in Somalia, what happened in Kenya in 2007, arbitration. That is putting a team of people people together to resolve the conflict. Registration, litigation, that is providing the necessary rules that can be able to use to resolve conflict. Alternative dispute resolution mechanism, elders, use of religious leaders, that's okay. Community policing, reconciliation. Like what happens in when we have conflict among the various tribes or between two tribes. We have part B, explain 6 factors which undermine national unity in Kenya. One of them is unequal distribution of resources, create disparity in terms of development, leading to the feelings of exclusion. So unequal distribution of national resources, or what we call the national cake. Roman number 2, tribalism, which favors people from one ethnic group, thereby creating animosity or hatred among the people. So that when you practice tribalism, that undermines the national unity. Religious conflict between brought about by intolerance by other people's faith, leading to division of people along religious lines. So people share different religious beliefs, and this is also, or we can say, can undermine the national unity. Discrimination on the basis of color create antagonism among different races, racism. So that's also another factor. When people discriminate others on the basis of color, that also undermines the national unity. Number 5, affiliation by different parties with different ideology polarizes the country along the political lines. So the different political parties that after multi-party was reintroduced, it brings about or it undermines the national unity, because different parties have political parties have different ideology. Number 6, corruption, greed, bribery lead to few people amassing a lot of wealth at the expense of others. So due to corruption, greed, you find that that brings about is a challenge in national unity. Poverty among the people creates a state of lawlessness, high rate of crime in the society. So poverty is also another challenge, because people want to get resources, and due to poverty there could be lawlessness, there will be strikes and so forth. Crime goes high. Number 8, terrorism, radicalization create a state of anarchy, fear, suspicion among the people. So we have terrorism, like we have those that are being radicalized, going to Somalia to join militia groups that sometimes come back and attack the citizens. So that creates anarchy, fear, suspicion, is a challenge in national unity. Nepotism, this is the practice of favoring relative. For example, when one is offering employment, you only consider those people that are from your own relatives. So that also is a challenge to the national unity. cultural conflict. Some diverse cultural aspect may be in conflict among different communities. For example, those who are livestock keepers and those who are farmers, that's a conflict that has been there. So the other one is ignorance leading to intolerance of people's view, leading to failure to appreciate development taking place around them. So that is that you get 6 out of this. Each will be awarded 2 marks, so you have 12. Number 23, give 3 members of the Judicial Service Commission in Kenya. 3 members of the Judicial Service Commission in Kenya. So these are the Chief Justice, who is the head of judiciary, the Attorney General, 1 Supreme Court judge, 1 Court of Appeal judge, High Court judge, Chief Registrar of Judiciary, 2 advocates representing the Royal Society of Kenya, 2 presidential nominee, 1 nominee by the Public Service Commission, 1 magistrate. So those are, they have 10, but you need to name 3. So each you are awarded 1 mark. So that totals to 3 marks. Part B, explain 6 reasons which can disqualify one from being elected as a member of County Assembly in Kenya. 1 reason that can make you not to be elected as a member of County Assembly, that is what we call MCA, if one is not registered voter in a constituency or ward. If you are not registered member, that is registered for the voters system, in the voter system, you cannot be elected as a MCA. If one does not have political nomination certificate and is not an independent candidate, you must be nominated by a political party, or you decide to go ahead as an independent candidate. And number 3, if one is declared bankrupt by a competent court of law, for this to put to question the ability of such a person to guard public resources. So if you are declared bankrupt is somebody who cannot be able to pay the debt, has no property, so it cannot be trusted with the public resources. Number 4, if one has not lived in Kenya, this should be Kenya, for at least 10 years preceding to the election date. If you have been living abroad in another country for the last 10 years, you cannot be elected as a member of County Assembly. If one is of unsound mind and therefore will not be able to discharge duties required for a member of the County Assembly. If you are sick, that is, you don't have sound mind, then you cannot be elected. The other one is, if one has violated Chapter 6 of Kenya Constitution on integrity of leaders, public servants. So if you have violated that part of Constitution, Chapter 6, that is, you are considered as a person who is of no good integrity. Number 7, if one is serving a sentence exceeding 6 months by the time the election is taking place, you cannot be elected. Number 8, if there is a proof of involvement in the electoral malpractice in the past, such as rigging, that's also another factor that can make you not be elected. There is enough proof that you are involved in election rigging. Number 9 is if one is a holder of a public service. If you are employed by the government, you must resign 6 months prior to the elections, rather Rather, you cannot be elected as an MCA. Number 10, if one has been holding an office of IEBC for the last 5 years preceding to the election. So the IEBC is a body that is mandated to conduct elections. So if you have been a member of working for the IEBC the last 5 years, you cannot qualify. So there you give 6 out of this, and each will be awarded 2 marks, getting to 12 marks. Part B, discuss 6 reasons why national government of Kenya prepares a budget. The national government of Kenya prepares a budget. It enables the government to source for revenue to finance its activities or programs, like building roads, paying for the public servants, those people who work for government, running the government, like the parliament and so forth. Number 2, to enable prudent use of resources and avoid budget. When you budget, then you are able to manage the resources that you have. Number 3, it enables the government to prioritize development according to the needs of the country. So this is where now the government will prioritize, for example, tarmacking of roads, building of hospitals, depending on the needs that are there. Number 4, it creates confidence among donors, foreign countries, World Bank, IMF, who bridge budget deficit. So because we don't have enough resources or finances that we correct, we borrow from other organizations like the ones that I mentioned, World Bank, IMF. We borrow from other countries. Sometimes there are donors who give us the money. So that is, without the budget, they cannot have confidence. Number 5, it helps the government to assess its performance based on the set development target, the previous year's performance. So with the budget, the government is able to know how it is performing in terms of development. Number 6, it enhances accountability, transparency of the government in the eyes of the public through parliamentary watchdog committee. So the parliamentary watchdog committee follows how the government is spending on how finances budget in the budgeted is being handled. Number 7, it enhances balance in the country's revenue and expenditure, hence avoiding budget deficit. So the budget helps to balance revenue and expenditure, to enable the government to explain to the public the tax structure or set tax levels. So it is the public that financed, or the KRA correct tax from the public. So that will enable, that makes for the government must budget so that they are able to explain how they spend the tax. The government, number 9, the government is able to set aside some funds to be used in case of emergencies in the course of the financial year. For example, when COVID came, it is something that was not budgeted. Unexpectedly it came, so the government is able to use these funds that have been set aside to be able to cater for such emergencies. Finally, we have to ensure equitable share of resources and balanced development. So the budget helps to do that. So there you can mention 6, you can explain 6. Each you take 2 marks, and that will get you to 12. So that's the end of that paper. I hope you have at least understood what was expected in this paper.